to you, Capricorn. Thanks for joining me. This is your reading for this full moon in Libra, which if you can see tonight, I'll be out there. The sun's going down. It's a bit grainy, so apologies for the light, but full moon in Libra, we're looking at relationships really on that axis with Aries, Libra axis, all about relating, all about, what we learn from others, what they learn from us, all of that stuff. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. These are very general readings, Capricorn. So thanks for coming back. And if you've not been here before, thanks for joining. We're coming out here looking at this collection of cards, and we always do obviously go through and clarify, but we're just looking at general view at the moment. We're coming out with the Seven of Cups. It's a great card of many options. The only downside about having those options really is that if we find it hard to be decisive in our ability to zero in on the ones potentials that will take flight, just leave the ones that won't. Sometimes we get into an indecisive mode. In the Thoth deck, we can see this. All the sevens are about assessment. But if we take too long, we see here, don't we, that water needs to flow. It needs to continue to move. It needs it. Otherwise, we're going to get, slam. We're going to get a bit of algae, I guess, and stuff, stagnation. But that's fine and dandy. I guess the thing to focus on is that the seven is about having many options. We then come to the Knight of Discs, very much the consummate manager of resources, of making sure that things get done in the way that they should be done and distributed out there in the way that they need to be. It's a really efficient, slow moving, not so slow as the Prince, but a very efficient and methodical, I would say intermediary, because there's, what do knights do? They work on behalf of the Queen, don't they? Oh, excuse me. We've got the beautiful star coming through. This wonderful connection. We are very clear in the way that we're a channel in some ways. Our arms, our head in the stars and our feet on the ground, we connect the two. And we are connected. We're part of those two things, And the star is a wonderful card of healing. And there's a level of acceptance, of sort of, it's not a sacrificial thing, but it's sort of like giving a level of surrender here. We are in surrender to what is for, I guess, our highest good, whatever way you want to look at that. And the Two of Wands, we see quite clearly what our resources are. We certainly know what our authority is over our own choices in our life, Capricorn. So this is really confident. It's a beautiful, it's actually a really lovely combination, You have many options, and the sort of helping facilitator or a helping hand here with that Knight of Discs. It's quite lovely. And then at the end, we have the Ten of Cups, the ability to create a level of distance here. I'm talking emotionally, to create a sort of buffer zone so that you can be objective in terms of what decisions you make here in the 7. What was I going to say? And yeah, so you create a level of space. It's not disconnection, it's just being objective, which is really good. And the thing too, because the 8s are all really about the mind and how the mind works. And the beautiful thing here is that obviously, you have the mental ability to, to infuse the emotions with a level of mental critique. The emotions are being impacted by your abilities to critically think, which is quite unusual in some respects, isn't it? So we create a little buffer zone, a wee protective zone around ourselves in that 8 of Cups, which is really beneficial at certain times of our lives and certain circumstances and all of that. So it's really terrible. I look like old Mother Hubbard or something. Anyway, that's all right. She was pretty cool. The 7 of Cups for Capricorn. The 7 of Cups, many, many options, many opportunities. Can we get a card, please? Capricorn for the 7 of Cups to clarify. Well, maybe not. Options. Yeah, it is. There's no rush in terms of making decisions or to come to your final assessment, with the 7. There's no rush here. We have the 2 of Discs coming up, indicating, you're keeping a really good balanced position in whilst there is a lot of movement and potential chaos going on around you externally. I mean, I guess there is in the world if you're thinking collectively about this card. We keep this. There's a tension here, but it's quite a productive sort of tension. So we're keeping that balance when there's a lot of movement going on, and so we've got it sussed, Capricorn. Knight of Discs, please, for Capricorn. Got some very dramatic music on in the background. I don't know whether you can hear it. I do like the concert program sometimes. Okay, so we're looking at the Knight of Discs, the manager. How we manage. We've got all these options, then we manage those, we make a decision at some point, not necessarily a definitive decision, but we are in that mode of, that being in our mind. So we're looking at this Knight. We first have the Knight of Wands, another Knight, but very impulsive, this one. Not so steady or level-headed, very impulsive character, very fiery, loves the dramatic, speaking of dramatic music, and has the ability to shapeshift, fire of fire in this Knight. It's compulsive behaviour. So it's hot and fast and furious, but it's like it's like there's, if you were comparing the two, well, you can't, can you? But one is slow and steady. This is compulsive reactionary energy, I suppose. And it needs fuel for those flames. So it likes drama, We also have the Ace of Swords, the gift of clarity and truth. yours. We get these little insights, don't we? Whatever's going on here, Capricorn. Whatever's going on, there's a lot of love. So this Queen of Cups just flopped out. Now, let's look at the star for you, Capricorn, today. The star, a healing card, primarily a healing card. Surrender, surrendering. So we've got the Nine of Swords, catastrophic thinking. I don't know whether you've been experiencing this. Waking up early hours of the morning, worrying. It is a card to indicate there's no point in doing that. It's a cyclical kind of habit, and good to get out of it, because the emphasis with these three cards is the emphasis is on a level of surrender with the star. It doesn't mean you give up anything. It doesn't mean you give up. You might be giving up a level of control, but it's usually about things you can't control anyway. There's a level of surrender here, an indication to ditch the self. This is how we hurt ourselves. And then we have the Three of Wands, wonderful works in motion. We're quite focused. We're on a path, and we're continuing on this path. With the Three of Wands, our centre of will and action is very much in alignment. How can I say this? Sorry, it's late in the day. Very much in alignment with what is your personal truth for you, because it's for you. This is about you. Other players pop in and out, but this is about you. So feel confident in that, and I'm sure you do with the Two of Wands. Can we clarify the Two of Wands here? Stubborn, a little bit. Just one more, please, Capricorn. To clarify, the Two of Wands, all about your authority. It's like, first and foremost, for that Two of Wands, you know your resources and what you've got control over, how you can utilize those resources. It's what it's all about. Timing, as I said it here, there's no rush to make a decision here with all these opportunities. There's no rush. We've got Temperance. It is all about divine timing. And I do suspect that for some Capricorns out there, it is about the level of, or the point at which you go, yes, I am. I do have a higher self, whatever way you want to look at that, whether it's your intuitive self, your internal truth, whatever. God, it gets confusing, doesn't it? But, I am a vessel. I am a vessel to receive from a higher source. There's a baptismal clarification. There's a baptismal sort of clearing in the star card. And I do see this as sort of connected here. We've got Temperance, as I said, the angel. Mixing of the waters, alchemy, alchemical card. Mixing and matching is what you're doing, Capricorn. So we have again the Seven of Cups. We see here all these things. Is some of it fantasy? Is some of it take flight? Will some of it take root? What's an illusion? What are my illusions? you've got time to, there's time. It becomes clearer. The most important thing, and with that 7 temperance, the 7 of cups, we have an Ace of Cups. I love this representation of the Ace of Cups. Beautiful lily, lotus, whatever. Beautiful infusion of this gift of love. Maybe you're feeling bathed in it right now. It's going to spur you on. There's a time where you can be quite gentle with yourself. Definitely is to be encouraged. And looking at the 8, the 8 of Cups, we have coming out, I'm going to get another one if I can, we have coming out the 10, ultimate satisfaction in the emotional realms of your life. This is achievable, the rainbow, the unicorn, if there's a unicorn. I think there is, no, there's not, flying around above the lake. This is achievable. It's just called happiness. It's just called happiness. It's a feeling of absolute satisfaction on an emotional level. And the key to that is, at this point, to have your 8 of Cups, emotional objectivity. That is, therein lies the key. Can we just get one more? Oh, this just flipped over. Experiment. Page of Wands. We have a youthful, risk-taking experimenter. This is a big learning time, maybe. A big changing times of change. Learning new ways of doing things. Discovering new chambers within your own heart. It may well be that, Capricorn. And in that we grow. And Brian Froud, Pixie and Fairies, the Fae are telling us. There might be a lot of people with their faces up against the window watching, but don't worry about it. Topsy-turvy. It's what looks the same, it's the same from different angles, it's sort of, there's a level of confusion, but it won't last for too long. Capricorn. It won't last for too long. Can we just get something for Capricorn that is nice? Because this reading has a great feel to it. It's not rushed. It doesn't feel pressurized. 2 Brian Froud cards. We have Lace the Moon's Daughter. I can see some Capricorns out there under the full moon following those breadcrumbs tonight through the forest to the little jewel, that exists in that darkness that we hadn't seen before. It's a beautiful card. And going along with that kind of theme of finding light in the dark is Iris of the Rainbows, which is a beautiful, Iris was messenger of the gods and really was a great translator, going between worlds very fluidly, clearing up communications, translating so that everyone understood and could see clearly, existing on that surface of a lake, where you've got the mists rising. Iris clears those mists of confusion and we have clarity. It's a really beautiful reading. Capricorn, and one last card from Kim Kranz, who's amazing, lovely artwork from Kim Kranz, Animal Spirit cards. And wow, have we not got a big container that holds all of this amazing emotional stuff, not only ourselves. This came out, I think, in the last Capricorn reading. We had the sea serpent coming out. This, how much can you, it's like holding all of that emotional knowledge and holding it for others, and how much can you contain? Well, you've kind of got like this vast ocean, and so you take it one gallon at a time or something. I don't know how you do it, Capricorn, but it's a beautiful thing. The sea serpent, clear sight, and a huge capacity for understanding the many and varied angles, emotions, all of that. On that note, Capricorn, thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful, wonderful time over this full moon, and we'll see you next time. Ka kite, bye.